We just had a plane crash into upper floor of the World Trade Center, transmit a second alarm, and start relocating companies into the area.
My name is Bill Spade, and on 9/11, I was a New York City firefighter assigned to Rescue Company number 5, based on Staten Island. The morning of September 11th, 2001, a Tuesday, I reported for duty early that morning, and I got into work just before 7 a.m. And I'm getting everything in order, and the phone rings. It's an off-duty fireman, Anthony LaRocca, and he says to me, "Bill, I just saw a plane hit the Trade Center, and now I'm headed out to the Trade Center. I'm watching the towers in front of me, and I catch a glimpse of a plane coming down the Hudson River." I remember watching that plane. It goes out to New York Harbor, and it goes around the Statue of Liberty. I remember it coming back, and I remember it striking that South Tower. I remember the ball of flame that erupted over the tower. Then I drive up West Street. There's body parts everywhere. When I made my way over to the North Tower, there's double motion activated doors there, and there was a canopy above it. Bodies and things would hit that glass canopy. Then they'd hit the chief's car. Then they'd hit the ground. I'll never forget those thuds. I made my way inside the North Tower looking for a command post. And I looked up, it was open construction. I could see one flight above. Some people were coming out of a staircase. 200 feet to your right, down an escalator, and then I hear something collapsing from above, and I don't know what. But I close those double doors, I jump inside, I go in the corner of the room. They always tell you that's the strongest. I remember I hugged the standpipe that's there, and now everybody's just looking at me, and the noise is getting intense. It's loud as can be, loudest noise. I like to say it's like eight subway cars pulling into the subway station at the same time with their brakes squealing. I remember just saying, this is it. And it stopped. And everything went pitch black, pitch black. I went to the other side of the stairwell because the side I was at seemed jammed shut. And the other side of the stairwell seemed jammed shut as well. And with that, two emergency service cops. I know now to be John DeLara and Sergeant Curtin are coming down the stairs. And one of them says to me, John DeLara says to me, "What's up?" I said, "I think we're trapped in here." And him and I began hitting that door, and we both run into it, and we'd hit into it 5, 6, 7, 8 times each. And we got that door open about 2 feet. Well, we weren't out of the building 35 seconds. And now I hear something coming down on us again. I don't even think I took one step towards that window, maybe half a step. And I got picked up and blown about 40 feet in the air. And I smacked into the cement wall. I started getting buried. I said goodbye to my wife. I said goodbye to my 6-year-old. When it's time to say goodbye to my 2-month-old, I remember saying, "Man, you'll never know your dad." I remember being buried. I tried to breathe and I didn't have an airway. I put a finger in my mouth to create an airway. And after about an hour in that room, one of the firemen, a probie, he had an orange patch on his helmet. He says to me, "I think I found the way out." And we went down that staircase onto VC Street. And we started going up VC Street to Broadway. I only went a little further past VC, and there was a deli on the left side. And an off-duty cop comes out of it. He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Nah." When I got into the emergency room, I remember the nurse saying, "What can I do for you? What are your main complaints?" I said, "You're not doing a thing till you call my wife." My brother-in-law, Tommy Aiken, who's in Rescue 5 as well, called me. He said, "Did you hear the news, Bill?" I said, "No, what news?" He said, "All the guys from 5 are missing." He said, "Bill, they're all gone." I received a call from my wife shortly after, and then she said, "Did you hear the bad news?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "What about the other bad news?" And she said, unfortunately, your Uncle Joe was on Flight 93 that went down in Pennsylvania. We called him Uncle Joe is Patrick Joseph Driscoll. He lived in Englishtown, New Jersey. And he was going to Yosemite National Park. It's crazy not to understand how many people, not only firemen, not police, not all your emergency workers, you know, everybody, just regular parents, wives, mothers, dads, uncles, that went to work to do their job. And in a matter of, 102 minutes, they're gone. They're gone. How has 9/11 changed my perspective on life? Every single night I go to bed, I say thank you for this day on earth. And I really, truly believe everybody should have a life-threatening experience, and it would change this world because they'd have a different view on life and everything, and it would be a much better place.